where her big auger-like mouth is, and said she was going to leave the United States of America if Donald Trump became president. He did, and then she did. She left. She went to Ireland, for Ireland, dealing with her. And all she can do, being over there, is complain about Donald Trump. She goes on weather patterns, maybe more locally than global, depending on what area you're in. And obviously, if you live next to a factory that's bellowing out smoke all day, I think your rate of sunshine in that area is going to be less. But
long story I want to start.
We'll be right back. Anthony Cooney Show. I had a great time with you, and it's a little strange in that you do actually give people sound, or at least, you know, as sound as you can.
The best I can do. We all know my...
Yeah, it's just falling. The Earth grabs it back and wants it back.
So you're basically just... What are the G-forces like? You plummeting?
Well, you're not slowing down from... Like, when a ship is in orbit... is violence. That is violence at the highest degree. So
what's the
arresting them, putting them through the system, and incarcerating them, that's the violence, people. Everything else is just an artificial construct.
Construction complete.
Like when you get your head caved in by a lead pipe, that was just an artificial construct.
Unit ready.
As they're artificially constructing your skull with plaster and a steel plate. Maybe that's what he means by an artificial construct.
Engineering.
Glitch in the matrix. What is?
Unit ready.
Are you crazy? He's trying to say that doing things like this, making burglaries when there's a dwelling, if you steal from a place that a dwelling is next to it, that isn't violence. Well, ask the person that lives there. Did they break anything?
Engineering.
Bust a door down? Vandalize your property?
Blueprints.
I would sure want it classified as violent. I would really want that. But for some reason, this guy, he doesn't care. He doesn't think it's violent. Mike, Sheep's Head Bay. Ooh, ritzy. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how are you,
Yes, sir.
Anthony?
Good.
I just want to put out, I just want to put out to you, since 2023, we've spent $8 billion on illegal immigration, illegal aliens in this city.
Crazy.
And, it is crazy. And, Mayor Adams is still slow walking this situation. It is inundated in this particular area, Coney Island and in Brighton Beach. And again, it's not moving fast enough on this.
Ready to roll.
And I'm just saying, and he already just signed another $1 billion contract to
Destination,
shelter
Commander?
more homeless and more immigration.
Yeah.
In the New York Post last week. Come on,
Chronometer
man.
reporting
How
for
do you
duty.
expect
Squared
me,
away, sir.
really, or anybody to take this guy seriously? I'm not voting for this guy. I ain't, I'm not, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's wrong, it's outrageous, and it's not.
Yes, sir.
Right, we're paying
Yes, sir,
for
ready.
it, and we didn't vote for this.
Destination,
Yeah,
Commander?
yeah.
Good to go.
That's how it's been working, and it's terrible. The good one of the good things that happened recently is the Supreme Court deciding that these activist judges, these district court judges, can't just put the brakes on every single thing the Trump administration is trying to do to better the country. I mean, they've been putting the kibosh on so many things, and finally the Supreme Court came out with a decision that said they cannot do this. So we'll see if that actually works and maybe gets these things done a little quicker.
Ready to roll.
I don't know.
On our way, sir. Ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean,
Vehicle
I
ready.
don't think,
Destination, Commander? Outstanding.
I do know that he doesn't act upon this.
On the move.
People in this community who voted for Trump, who are Republicans, who are Democrats in this area, they're not going to vote for him.
Yeah.
They're not. So, I mean, and congested pricing too. You talk about taxation from the other guy, Zion, who wants to tax
White
people.
White people.
Right.
Everything's made to
It's
fit.
just frightening. It's the same thing for the American citizens.
Yeah.
That's the president is trying to support the transit authority. Is that not a joke?
Yeah, it is.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
again, how about you actually collect the fares for the subway and the buses, and don't let tens of thousands of people jump over these things with impunity, because that's what happens.
Securing
And
position.
again, like we were just talking about before, you're the sucker. You're the sucker.
Destination, Commander?
Yep.
I'll tell you what better. How about taking the
Unit
$8 billion
report, yes, sir.
that we
Good to
spent
go.
since 2023
Yes, sir.
and put back?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ready to
Sort
roll.
of. You know?
Mike, I got to move on. Thank you so much for your call. From
Unit reporting. Good to go.
Yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. More of your calls and a Hillary Clinton, of course. Yuck. Back in a flash. Anthony. Rover, 29th. 30 days has September, June, and November. Yeah, we got one more day of Pride Month. But then it's got like LGBTQ Day or something.
Good to go.
It's also gay. Why do we still have to hear anything from Hillary Clinton? That's the big question, isn't it?
Sir, yes, sir.
She was somebody. She used to be somebody. Many years ago, at this point,
Fuel tanks are
Secretary of
filled. I
State,
can go anywhere.
married to Bill, of course, criminal, I like to call it, left a just a trail.
Got a steady
I don't know how
hand.
far I could go here, but, you know, she's like John Wick with the trail
Fired up.
of destruction, the wake of destruction. But another example, she's talking about misinformation being posted on social media, and people love to think that the Republicans
Ready to soar.
and Trump is
They
a
won't see it
dictator. He's the oppressive, tyrannical king. Yeah, that's what they've been saying. And you rarely hear somebody on the right talk about
Pushing away.
censorship, that they want things censored. Now, I hear you screaming already. What about the books? They
We can make
banned
adjustments.
books.
Watch my dust.
Yeah, in school.
I can go anywhere.
Some parents don't
Gotta
want
stay
that.
slow.
They don't want their kids learning about
Fuel tanks
gay
are filled.
sex.
I'll take the
And being
highway.
able to go to the library in school and get a book that is showing graphic images of sex. Even if it's heterosex, whatever. Some parents don't want their kids to be exposed to that at a certain age. And if some parents don't care, there are plenty of resources that they can go to show their kid debaucherous, degenerate sex without it being part of a school curriculum. But other than that, it's very rare that you'll see people on the right wanting to shut down
Oh, hello, sir.
platforms, internet platforms,
Good day, Commander.
because of
there it
content. Hillary Clinton, she made a statement about misinformation and goes to the lengths. Yes, she would like to see people arrested for posting certain things, which is insane. It is the exact opposite
Yes, sir.
of what this country was founded on. At least one of the biggies, you know, that First Amendment. Coming in at number one with a bullet, it's freedom of speech. And listen to Hillary here suggesting jail for people that post things.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
Pushing
A
away.
better
All
deterrent
fired up.
than what, you know, and civilly or criminally charged for what they call misinformation and disinformation. Let's look back during the COVID disaster. A lot of stuff that had later been proven to be absolutely true was looked at as being disinformation. And what happened to those people? Well, a lot of them were removed from these social media platforms. Before Elon scooped up Twitter and turned it into X, you would get your account permanently suspended for posting that ivermectin could help, or that the vaccine didn't do anything, or so many things, so many topics about COVID and the medical community, and you would be gone. Now, Hillary is suggesting that if something like that happened again, maybe that misinformation should put you in jail. And then what happens in 2 years, 3 years later when it's deemed that that was not misinformation? They let you out and go, sorry?
Ready to soar.
It's people like her and the Democrats
Clear out the
that love
Check out the view.
telling people they can't speak their mind, and even more so telling people they're not allowed to listen to people that are posting. That's the biggest part of it. Freedom of speech, of course. Of course we want to be able to exercise our freedom of speech. But the freedom to be able to listen is a big one. You curtail one person's freedom of speech, you're curtailing an entire auditorium's freedom to listen to that person. When these colleges tell a controversial speaker that they can't speak because of security issues, meanwhile it's just because the liberal indoctrination center does not want that person to be heard. So you shut that one person up, but what you've done is plug the ears of an entire group of people that might have wanted to hear that person speak and might have heard something they like in there and gone, wow, I never looked at it that way, or maybe I'll do a little more research on this. Whatever it may be, they want to prevent you from hearing different ideas. It's obvious. They've done it for years. But the fact that this hen, this old hen, is still cackling her nonsense in public is amazing. And you want to talk about misinformation and disinformation, and it's out there, she says, oh yeah, people are guilty of it. Yeah, CNN, MSNBC, all the network news agencies, they're the ones. They're the ones that told you that Joe Biden was fit as a fiddle, sharp as a tack. Oh my goodness. The interns, the White House interns have a hard time keeping up with them. Do they? Do they? I don't believe it.
Sir.
I think that's a lie. Should we send some of the reporters, the journalists, the writers from MSNBC and CNN to jail? Some civil or maybe criminal penalties? Would that help Hillary? She is the worst. Julius from Brooklyn. Julius, what's up?
What's up, Anthony? Before anything, I just want to make this clear that your show and Ron and Fez were a big help when I was in the Army.
Oh. Well, thank you. You were a big help to the country when you were in the Army. Thank you for your service. Thank you. I was a Navy SEAL. I was a fighter, a governor. I tried to go to Area 51. Why are you interrupting me when I'm talking about going to Area 51? They wouldn't let me in because there's aliens. All right, Jesse. Thank you. Anyway, what's up, Julius?
Yeah, well, with that said, I'm also like, I guess I would be the leftist that is supposedly the guy who runs away from the debate.
Ah, but you wanted a little debate on something.
If you don't mind, and I promise, out of my sheer fandom for the old days, and I wish it was back in the late 90s again, where I'd be smoking pot and drinking. It was wonderful back then, before everything else.
Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, just hanging out. It was all so easy back then, wasn't it, Julius?
The good porn.
All right, maybe we should get back on point.
Yeah, I forgot. I gotta check and she gets pissed off. Anyway, all right. So let's clear this out. Okay, the whole thing of the food banks. They have that in Europe, and it would not be communist. A communist system would be where basically the state, where like the Soviet Union, would be growing the food, and they would be running it based on numbers indicators, which I could bore you to death. It's basically where they predicted based on how many people are going to be alive next year, so this is how much we produce. That's not how it works. A food bank would be they buy it from the sources, from private sources directly, and it would be run like a co-op. It would be the same thing like a post office. And before anything, the post office...
I'm glad you used that. Hold on, Julius. I'm glad you used the post office as an example, but go ahead.
No, I know what you're going to say. But the reason why the post office was screwed up is because back in the 2000s, the Republicans set this whole retirement plan, which was genius. It was also great to break the finances of the post office by forcing them to adopt a 75-year ahead retirement plan for every worker. So every worker thereafter, they would have to plan it out. Okay, so this is how much you're going to have to spend on retirement. Basically bleeding out the money.
Yeah, I've heard how some of these entitlements after...
It's not an entitlement, it's retirement.
Retirement funds, yeah. It's breaking a lot of institutions and things. I understand that.
Because they wanted to privatize the post office the same way. They want to privatize the VA.
But how do you...
I could go on that some other day.
I want to know how you can see a state-run thing like a supermarket.
It wouldn't be because it would be community-owned. Also, it would be local. It would be local. If you run like a co-op, so it would be a non-profit.
Yeah, better be, because New York City hasn't been able to make anything profitable. Never mind.
Government should not be about making profit. Government should be about serving the people.
Well, he said pass the savings on to you. How would a state-run supermarket be cheaper?
Because it's all about because you know this about automobiles. It's about how these people jack up the prices. Like if you go to different supermarkets, like I went to California, they sell the same stuff, and usually like there's these two shops, Ralph's and Food. I'm sorry, I forgot the other one. It's like the lower level one, but it's run by the same company. And basically they sell 90% of the same stuff in both markets, except that one is deemed as higher end. Yeah. Like depending on the location.
But they're private companies. They're run by like people.
That's fine. That's fine.
So
why should the people care about what corporations?
Because the state has a horrible track record.
It's not the state. It's going to be the. It's
not. Did you hear? Did you hear him talk about it?
We are all the public. We are the state. Look. I know this sounds.
You're trying to make it sound like it's just like a private enterprise, but it's not. He is saying it will be a state-run supermarket. The New York City will run it. They will have to stock the shelves. They will hire the people, and it will look like the Department of Motor Vehicle. And they will have to make sure that the demand is supplied by what they put in these stores. They are incapable of running anything efficiently, the city. Put it this way. Hold on, Julius. Hold on. Do you remember something called New York City OTB, off-track betting? They went bankrupt being a horse race bookie. New York City lost money being a bookie for a horse race.
My question is, what is the state doing? Why should the state operate a betting parlor, period? Like,
well, that's a whole nother argument. But when you lose money on something everyone else makes money on, it's kind of a good example of how inefficient.
Well, Anthony, this is where I could bring up how Trump lost money running a casino.
Yeah, well, it was a private business, though. That's a private enterprise, and look, times maybe.
Well, how much money was ponied up by the New Jersey taxpayer.
Hey, I know I gave a few bucks at that Trump casino.
Well, I'm
Bastard.
talking about before that, when they were building it up back in the 80s. Come on.
Yeah.
The guy got abatements. Like his whole, it's a wonderful scam. I don't blame him for
It's
taking
business.
advantage of it.
It's not a scam because he wasn't doing anything illegal. I like how people bring up Trump's scams when it's like he did everything by the book that these legislators, you know, whenever they complain about taxes, it's like pay your fair share. Why aren't you doing this? You're making the laws, legislators. You're the ones
Paid
guilty.
off by these corporations and all these guys. Why should we?
Julius, I would love to argue with you all day and night, but I have to move on. I appreciate your call, Mr. Julius. We'll be back in moments with more and your calls and a lot more on the Anthony Canoe Show. Another one like Hillary who just go away. She left the country. She put her money where her big auger-like mouth is, and said she was going to leave the United States of America if Donald Trump became president. He did, and then she did. She left. She went to Ireland, for Ireland, dealing with her. And all she can do, being over there, is complain about Donald Trump. She goes on all these talk shows over there. They call them chat shows like they do in England and Ireland. Chat shows. And just talks about how terrible Donald Trump is and how awful he was to her and the physical and mental anguish and pain that she endured being in the United States under a Trump presidency. Like, just go out, enjoy your life on the Emerald Isle, but she just can't stay out of it. I call her Rosie Ozempic now because it looks like she tried to be Ozempic. She lost a lot of weight, but looks like really drawn and gaunt and terrible. But here she is talking about what poor health Donald Trump put her in. She's blaming Trump for her poor health. Amazing. Listen.
During his first go-round, it was very difficult, and I got myself into some bad places. You know, I was very, very depressed. I was eating. I was over-drinking. I was, I was so depressed, Chris. I can't, it hurt my heart that America believed the lies about him, and then it broke my heart to be in a business that creates and sells those lies for profit. It was very heavy, to tell you the truth.
Very heavy. She was. Yeah, I mean, all she can do now is just bitch about Donald Trump. I was eating and drinking. Yeah, well, how does another person force you to do that? Especially, it's not even like you're in a relationship with the person. I can understand that. There's plenty of husbands out there that need a belt, a little shot of Jack before they go home. Deal with their wife. Or maybe the other way around, too. We get it. But Rosie, like, the president made you drink and eat too much and put you in poor health? Now, I do understand that he did attack her personally, which was hilarious. I think we can all agree when he said Slav. He was asked, does he call women Slavs? And he said, just Rosie O'Donnell. Hilarious. When the president, everyone saw it. So maybe in that respect, but he hasn't even mentioned her in quite some time. And you're in beautiful Bunny Ireland. What are you doing? Why not just enjoy your life? I don't think she can enjoy anything. She seems to have been miserable her entire life. And, Godspeed. Have fun there, Rosie. Pull it together. How about that? Pull it together. Here's Mark in New Jersey, wants to elaborate a little bit on these supermarket things, these state-run supermarkets. What's up, Mark?
Unit ready.
Yellow? Are you there? No?
Unit ready.
I can go anywhere.
He bailed. realized
Got a clear view,
couldn't
sir.
compete with the likes of me. Well, wouldn't be a Sunday without Susan. Susan, how are
Check
you,
out the view.
my dear?
Riding
Hey,
high.
well, listen, you're giving us a lot of great topics here.
Yes.
All fired up.
Yeah,
Clear
I'm
out the
going
place.
to sort of redirect a bit to the working family party. Okay, Madami
How about some
has
action?
that party, that
Ready to
line
soar.
on the
They
ballot
won't
in the
see us
general
coming.
election, as well as the Democratic one.
Right.
And I actually was very active in
I can go
grassroots
anywhere.
politics
Thank you,
in
Bill. Late
Brooklyn
tide.
back, in 2000 when Letitia James came into power
Okay.
through the Working Families Party. She beat the Democratic actually, the Democratic
Susan.
candidate.
Did I take Susan's call a little too close to a break? Because Susan likes to elaborate. We love you, Susan. But you got to really speed it up at this point. Go ahead.
Okay, no, the Working Families Party gets volunteers from the whole country. That's how Madami got all those volunteers. And Curtis needs to get his independent party line, along with the Republican line, to compete. And we can't do not throw Curtis out with the bathwater.
No, I'm not throwing Curtis out with the bathwater. I'm going to throw you out with the scotch, though, right now, because I got to go to a break. So have a good shot on me, and we'll be right back with the Anthony Cumia Show. Donald Trump is talking about
I can go anywhere.
energy.
Up and
Energy
over.
prices are down. I could see it. You know, I'm a big boy. Actually have to pay for things like oil and gas and around my house and fuel for the vehicle, things like that. And I've noticed the prices have been coming down. And one of the reasons is that Donald Trump, his administration, isn't afraid to utilize the resources that we have here in abundance. You may remember during Trump's first term, we were energy independent.
Tools of the trade.
We were the biggest exporter of energy in the world over any of the OPEC nations. Our reserves were full to the brim. Our fuel reserves, emergency fuel reserves, which then Joe Biden used to get gas prices to fall a little bit right before the election. That was his gimmick. Didn't quite pan out, did it? But Trump was talking about coal, oil, fossil fuel, as they call it, and not wind and solar. I think the big, beautiful bill had a lot of cuts to a lot of this alternative energy sources like wind and solar and whatnot. And Trump is like, look, we got coal. We got plenty of coal. We got plenty of oil. Let's burn it, baby. Let's power our country. Let's listen to Trump talk about energy.
Lens shifters in working condition. New coordinates processed.
Opened up coal. We were closing all our coal mines all over the country, and yet we still have a lot of coal. We use the generating plants of coal because it's the strongest. And we're doing coal. So we have everything, every form. I don't want windmills destroying our place. I don't want these solar things where they go for miles and they cover up a half a mountain and they're ugly as hell. And by the way, the panels are all made, and the windmills, they're all made in China. Okay?
Positional data received.
Yeah, I mean, look, if alternative energy like solar and wind was efficient, that'd be great. Some places can use those alternative energy sources, and it's wonderful. You're out in the desert, you want to put up some panels, that's fantastic. It's going to be great. If you're in a valley that the wind whips through and you put up a windmill, awesome. But these aren't energy sources that you can transport somewhere. And that's, I think, what people don't really understand. You could take a truck full of coal, a train, huge trains full of coal, and take it from one side of the country to the other. And all that energy can be used. You can't do that with wind or solar. You can't put it in a battery. Batteries are unbelievably inefficient in converting energy from one area to another and transporting it with a battery. It's terrible. And everything else, like our direct involvement was very limited, very surgical, and then Iran kind of sent some missiles, called the bases in advance, and shot off some things off target, and went, yeah, see, we're tough, and that fixed it. It was the end. What happened to World War III? We were supposed to have World War III, and that didn't pan out. So
no, those mullahs know that he knows where they live.
Yeah, I know. They get a missile right through their window.
They want to send people to die, but they don't want to die.
Yep. Thank you,
straight up.
Silas, as I've been corrected. Silas. Jerry from Jersey. What's up, sir?
Anthony, I just wanted to ask you, why do the Republicans do such a terrible job fighting that basic ideology of the left on climate? I mean, Joe Biden used to go around all the time saying that he was saving the planet, that there was this
existential threat. That was the big line. It's an existential threat. And then they keep pushing the goalposts further and further. In 10 years, we won't have this. Florida will be underwater. And then 10 years comes about, and we're supposed to forget about it, and then they just say another 10 years, and, call them out on this. Yeah.
Right away, sir. Yeah, I mean, we should just lay it down that there is no emergency, there is no crisis, that the current warming that's taking place is perfectly normal, and the idea that CO2 controls climate and all the Earth's temperatures is just ridiculous. I mean, there's no science there at all.
Engineering.
When they married this junk science to the feckless politicians, we are just blowing so much money and opportunity with this junk science. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem promising that Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord, and a lot of these climate change bills that they try to pass are shot down now. And I think more people are saying, especially conservatives, obviously, that are saying, yeah, we're not doing this, and they seem to back off a little bit. But it is junk science. Whenever you try to refute it with someone, they'll go, you know more than a scientist? Like, what, a bought and paid for scientist that is agenda-driven or proof positive? Where is the proof that the sea levels are rising? You could see photos from over 100 years ago of a coastline that hasn't budged. And they will insist that sea levels are rising. Prove it. They've never proven one of these claims that climate is an existential threat.
I mean, they're always changing. 65 million years ago, the shoreline of New Jersey was freehold.
Ready to roll.
That's where the dinosaurs were hanging out. So
I mean,
the idea.
Yep. Obviously, thanks, Jerry. Yeah, obviously things change. The Earth's crust moves and erosion, things like that.
Yes, sir.
But it's not because the sea levels are rising, because of that existential threat of climate change. And it's just the usual clowns. Who's that? Greta Thunberg. She went from climate change to she's a supporter of Palestine and Palestinians and then something else. That's what these people do. They're like locusts. They go to one place, destroy whatever's in their way, and then move on to something else. Terrible. Damon from California, what's up? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, hello.
Hey, there you are. What's up, man?
Ready as ever. Mining. Ready to roll.
You might
Bound
grab this
forward.
a little crazy question. It's probably has nothing to do with connection. I just want to know what's your opinion on the divorces and breakups.
Well, I went through one back in 2000, I guess. Was married for 9 years.
Watch my dust.
Most of those years was as a sheet metal worker in air conditioning and heating. Then I got into radio. I made thank goodness, a very large amount of money on the Opie and Anthony show. And my wife at the time and her lawyer, who happened to be noted attorney Dominic Barber from the Howard Stern show, was my wife's lawyer, totally raped me for about $1 million. I had to give her $1 million. And like I said, most of the time we spent together I was in air conditioning and heating. And then the radio portion of it, I don't think she did one voice. I don't think she came up with one entertaining phrase. She sat there not having to work, and when all was said and done and the divorce was over, I owed her $1 million. So I'm not a fan, let's say, of divorce.
I can go anywhere. Right.
Exactly. And the thing is, some people can go and some people never get over. Some people, it is all the time.
Well, I was lucky that I had money. I had the amount of money to pay her, and also to continue living in the lifestyle in which I was used to. That's what they said. Dominic Barbara, if you remember from Stern's show, he's like, he tells me, he goes,
you both have done very well, and she should share in your success.
Like, share? I was successful in spite of having her as a wife. Oh, she was always just a lush, embarrassing, falling down in front of my bosses in Boston. Oh, it's terrible. Why'd you have to bring this up today?
Because I got a couple years ago in Kansas. I think, for some people it's just difficult. Some people can't get over that. Even if you find you and somebody else, it's like it won't be the same,
No, you got to get over it though. What are you? How old are you?
Good day, Commander.
You should get over it.
Perfect.
Thanks, David.
Look natural.
Get over those things.
Natural.
We all have to move on.
Sneak attack.
As you get older, you look back on certain relationships that you had and how you felt about them and what you did during those relationships, and it's just embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Like, I was so infatuated, in love, whatever that is, with a girl. Hooked up in 1999 and got together. That kind of forced my divorce. When you get a girlfriend and you're married, kind of forces the divorce. But I was so in love and just infatuated, lusting and everything. And I think that everything I did and said and the stress of it all. And I look back now and just go, what was I, an idiot? Like I was a lovesick fucking retard walking around, and for years, and now I look back and just go, what a dope. So there is some wisdom that comes with age, and you just got to move past it. The hardest thing I've had to move past is the embarrassment of how I acted and thought about this relationship and how important it was to me. And I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. That's the major problem. I'll take a quick call before the next break from Rich in Connecticut. What's up, Rich?
Yes, hi. I would like to support the idea of global warming, climate change. A few quick facts.
Sure.
The Navy, the U.S. Navy has spent billions over the last 20 years raising their docks and ports. Two, that Florida, for example, seawalls have been moved inward, and one can't get insurance for flooding there. And three, glaciers have declined. In my lifetime, I know glaciers from Switzerland to Alaska, and they've receded 1,000 feet. I know 3 glaciers that have. And lastly, the concept that one can't discuss global warming without understanding concepts of albedo. That's like a reflectivity. The reflectivity of the Earth has changed the decline of the whiteness of glaciers, and so the Earth is on a course for heating up because of that.
Well, that does sound existential.
Got a steady glow.
It can be. Absolutely.
I don't know. I have no problem believing that human beings during their history on this planet, especially after the Industrial Revolution, have had some effect on weather patterns, maybe more locally than global, depending on what area you're in. Obviously, if you live next to a factory that's bellowing out smoke all day, I think your rate of sunshine in that area is going to be less. But I just haven't seen any evidence that we are in a global crisis because of what we've done on this planet over the past 150 years or so.
I'll give you a quick example.
Please do.
Fluorocarbon industry agreed
I know that
it was global.
I used to pump that stuff out of the air conditioning coils every day. Fluorocarbon. Where is it? Vent to atmosphere we used to do. When we had to empty air conditioning system, now you have to recover it. The Freon, what was called Freon, you have to recover it into the bottles. But years ago, we just cut the line and you'd hear and watch this cloud of toxicity. So maybe, I don't know, Rich, maybe you got a point.
That proved that industry agreed that the impact of humans on the global atmosphere was global.
I don't know.
Fluorocarbons is the example of that.
I'd like to see a little more. But thank you for the call. I listen to everybody. That's how I roll, yo. I get the calls on. I don't care what your opinion is. I'm not going to poo-poo it, especially with something like climate change. Like, just don't tell me that I have to put money toward it, and it's existential. And we're all done in 10 years if I don't take a chunk of my tax money and give it to some program. While like I said, India and China and a lot of these third world nations that are trying to compete in 2025 are belching out disgusting toxic waste into the atmosphere. But you're coming for my paycheck because, we burn a little coal. Screw you, that's what I say.
How dare you?
How dare you? I couldn't even stay in school. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Oh, shut it. That one. Mo Howard haircut. Pete Rose hair. All right, back on a flash. Anthony Comey. Tonight, I guess they had the press conference already. Oh, maybe it's their time. At this time, the shelter-in-place has been lifted. However, there's still an active wildfire. So he's dead. He's dead. The shooter that supposedly started a fire there in Idaho and opened fire on firemen and police. He is deceased. It almost sounds like if they found a body that he took himself out, or did cops do it? Isn't there just something better if the cops got him than if he just blew his own brains out? Same end result. He's gone. We don't have to worry about a trial or any other nonsense, but just to let the cops know that they got him. That would be nice. Wendy from East Northport, is that where you're from, Long Island?
That would be I.
Yeah, I used to live there.
Right here, not too far from here.
Right behind Fred Steiner on the Jericho Turnpike.
There was also a Fred's Carpet Store on Lockfield Road.
How about that?
For years. First, I have to say, are we not so lucky having Trump as president? He is not the And you know what? The Dems hate him because he's so effective. He actually does the things that he says he's going to do, and they just can't stand that.
They hate it. Yeah, and it's a lot of things. And you know, a lot of presidents, they go through their entire administration, they have what they call one piece of like groundbreaking legislation. And that's it. And it took 4 years to do this one thing. And Trump is just like, he's throwing stuff against the wall, see if it sticks. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, he just, you know, regroups and does something else. So he's a hard act to follow. And we'll see.
Yeah, and not only that, if a politician did do something that he said he was going to do, he would only do it like 4 months before he was running for election.
Right. Save it for the re-election. And if he's a lame duck, they wouldn't do anything. Like a lot of times, the president in their second term, they don't do anything. So it's good to see. You know, Trump is a juggernaut, man. He's just plowing right through this term, working every day.
Yep. So listen, I was going to say quick comments about climate change. You know the government doesn't even believe it, because if they did, every single new house that they'd be building in America would have solar panels on it. But they don't have solar panels on it because the lobbyists pay them off.
It's very regional, too, solar panels. I mean, they're not efficient. They're not even efficient under optimum circumstances. The way that photons from the sun are changed into electricity is very wasteful on solar panels. It's not efficient. And then you get things like overcast or mountains or whatever is going to block the sunlight. It's terrible. And it's not transportable energy. You don't put it in a battery and ship it across the country like you could fuel or coal or anything like that. Unfortunately, people are so petrified of nuclear energy, which is the cleanest, most efficient, and safest, right up until something goes wrong. But, you know, they've scared us out of using nuclear energy. So,
well, I will say, hello?
Yes, Wendy.
Yeah, well, here in East Northport, we do have a lot of solar panels, and I will say that I have a neighbor around the corner who gathers enough solar energy, and they sell it back to LIPA. So they do work. But that's my whole point, is that when it's, you know, like the government really doesn't even believe it, because if they did, they would be doing it.
Yeah, maybe it would be all over, especially on government buildings. Practice what they preach.
Yeah, well, they're starting now after like 20, 30 years. You know, now you see them on the car parking lot.
Again, they work where they work, and it's very regional. But thank you, Wendy. Enjoy East Northport. I remember going into Northport, Long Island. There's a town just west of East Northport, I believe. But it was right on the upper, the north shore of Long Island. And they had a lot of good bars there. But the Northport Police Department was notorious, man. That was police Pac-Man your way out of Northport. You'd have a few drinks, and you'd have to drive right down Main Street in Northport, and I'll be damned if you just get pulled over all the time. It was the worst place to go if you were going to be drinking and then, you know, have to drive home. But some of the best bars, it was very tempting for younger people. And back then, you know, sometimes you could actually talk your way out of a deal back in my day. But not with Northport. Maybe Suffolk County cops. Not the Northport cops. Very, very scary. All right. I think you should enjoy the rest of your gay month. We have our gay month closing out tomorrow. June has been gay month. And it's the 30th tomorrow, so it's your last day to be gay. Really, really gay in the country. Had the parade here. I cannot wait to board that aircraft and get my ass back to South Carolina tomorrow. I do enjoy coming here. The people I see, you guys, thank you everybody, your texts and all the people that help me out doing this show every Sunday, even the version from my house. The callers, I do appreciate it. And we'll be back next Sunday. And God knows what will be happening then. Until then, have yourselves a great rest of your gay day. Comedian extraordinaire, actor mediocre, and a good friend of mine, Jim Norton. Jimmy!
Delighted.
I am, like I said, I'm stunned that this is even a thing.
It is crazy. We're on radio in New York again, and looking out the window at car. Like, it's so bizarre to be on regular radio in New York.
It is, and I was thinking about that. The last time this happened was K-Rock. I think that was the last time we were on broadcast radio together. We would do K-Rock in the morning and then do the walkover to XM satellite radio. And that was many, many years ago.
I remember that you had to put the shopping cart had to be pushed. And
You know, it was early in the morning. They're just trying to get their bagel and coffee. And they're like, sir, what are you eating there, sir?
And the last thing they wanted was just to be teased by an abrasive man. He's just so abrasive. Even when people like him, they don't really like him because he's just abrasive.
No.
So if you're minding your business, having your coffee in the morning, that's the last thing you want. My voice is a little scratchy, you can tell, but a little cold.
What was hitting the back of it?
Glory is master.
That's not what you think.
Just dab it in a little NyQuil and shove it back there and see how you do.
Yeah, I'm a little clogged.
Also, E-Rock is sitting in just to watch, but I have to acknowledge that he's here. E-Rock's been such a part of our satellite radio thing over the course of the years, and then he was working with me over at Compound Media for almost a decade. So, E-Rock, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm here because I didn't think you'd have enough to make fun of for 3 hours, so I figured I might as well come in and
fodder. I'm trying to put up a little
fodder for a feeder.
Fodder and fodder every day.
It's so mean, I know.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to put up a little post.
Oh, you're posting on social media?
I really am an old man at this point. I got my glasses on. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I'm panicking.
It's so hard to keep up with it, and you don't want to. If you make one mistake, you can be brilliant at posting in the internet. If you make one mistake in front of people, it's like, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
All right, boomer. It happened. I was doing a sales meeting here from my house, and it works every single time. And then I'm there on camera going, wait, they can't hear me? And it's just me pushing and trying to sign language the sponsor and the sales staff. And I'm like, wait, 1 minute, I got it. Like, I look like a buffoon.
Plus the plus 24 font size on the phone doesn't help either.
Yeah, well, that's, but I got my crazy big glasses. These are my Sheriff Chief Brody glasses from Jaws.
God, they are Chief Brody glasses.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's
hope you have a quint ending.
Jimmy,
I know, it's so good.
It really is. It's been so long.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't looking for a gig.
Sure.
And they in their infinite wisdom here, they decided to hire me because you were over at Sirius XM Satellite Radio with the Opie and Anthony show. Yep. And back in 2014, I guess it was, I got the boot.
It was July 4th weekend.
Yes.
We were off. I remember where I was when my ex Jen called me and told me that something happened.
What was her birth name?
Well, it's funny because that is who I was on a date with. Not Jen, but let's just say another young lady.
Oh, okay. Wow, it goes back that far.
God Almighty! Not with Nikki. It was another girl. But yeah, before I met Nikki.
Okay. So yeah, it was back then. I remember because I had just also bought a brand new Jaguar because the money's just rolling in.
Nothing can stop us.
And I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna do? It was like I talk about not having regrets, and it's easier once you go through, especially years, to look back and go, well, I'm happy where I am now and what's going on. But at that moment, and you were through one of those also at NEW when we got fired for the Sex for Sam St. Pat's Cathedral debacle, and there's nothing worse than right when it happens, and our agent calls and goes, they're terminated.
Let's transfer some assets.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Did I screw this up? Am I going to be back on a ladder in a rooftop putting in air conditioning and heating? It was frightening.
Yes.
And then you do realize, and it's kind of comforting that in a few years, it takes that long sometimes, you realize like, oh, I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that. And I always look at it like I'd have been fired 15 more times after that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. But it was, that was some stressful times.
It is losing a gig. I remember when it happened at NEW. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm never going to make the money again. I'm never going to make this money. I have no future. There's nothing going to happen.
Well, and you were right.
I was just going to say, I knew I was too long of a setup. I was just about to say, and I was right, but I handed it to you.
Thank you.
I handed it to you, and then I tied my shoes and I put it where your shoes. But it's it's so bizarre when you lose a gig. Like you're like nothing is ever gonna come around again. And even now, I'm not with Sirius. I'm not. It wasn't a firing. It was just. It was kind of the way they did it. But when you get that call, like we're not gonna renew. I was like, all right. And it's funny, you miss knowing that the money's there.
Yes.
But it's nothing in my life has changed. Like nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen no change whatsoever.
But I don't know, financial stability is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And having a steady check come in, you almost take it for granted after a while, and you don't realize that, well, I might not need that. And it gives you a little bit of power over your future. You can go on and do what you want to do.
I wanted to go away every single weekend and work, and I wanted my wife to hook at a bus station. So we're both kind of doing what we need to do to pay the bills. That's what she was meant to do. Hook at a bus station.
But yeah, like E-Rock has been the rat of XM satellite radio, Sirius XM. He tells me everything going on, and it's great because they just are making terrible decisions as far as talent goes, and the whole thing of getting a celebrity with a name, just stick with you.
Absolutely. I'm nothing that will help you, not at all. I'm trying to say it without cursing.
It is a little tough.
It
right?
certainly is challenging. What else starts with C?
Yeah, but that's what I've noticed over the course of the years is like, when we went there, it was such a change from radio, especially XM more than Sirius. But it was like this big change, and they were all about not doing what radio did. And now
XM was.
Yeah, XM was, not Sirius XM. And it's so weird that technology went from having to put a satellite up orbiting the goddamn planet.
Yeah.
And now you just pick your phone up, and I could listen to Spotify and make my own playlist and things like that. But the only real commodity left is personality driven. They can't just make that out of thin air and put it on. So they try. Yeah. Well, they hire these celebrities, big names, and they give them hundreds of millions of dollars, and they don't bring anybody in
because they're not really that interesting. Like most of them are very guarded. Like they haven't had to make a living talking about their personal life on slow news days.
Right.
Like the most garbage comes out like when nothing's going on in August, and all of a sudden like, oh, I like women with penises. It just kind of spills out. It spills out. It spills out with the slow news days. It's never changes.
Never.
Nothing changes. But that's when the stuff comes out, and celebrities are not used to that. They're not used to these slow news days. They have to like fill it with their own personal
They're
life.
very guarded.
Yeah.
And there were those days. I mean, the one refreshing thing about it is you really don't have any secrets. That anyone can use against you. Not like trying. But those slow news days when you're looking going, I'm going to have to delve back to my teens on this one.
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to be ugly.
Oh my God! There's like the New York Post. The headline was "Sunshine today," and I'm like, oh well, we're going under the porch, aren't we? It's going to be a long day.
Yeah, you start talking about yourself, and I think celebrities that get these big paying gigs in broadcasting these days, they don't have that in them. They could get their buddies, and they'll get a little traction. What's the name of that show with all those guys? There's like 4 of them, celebrities. The guys.
Sopranos.
No.
Was it a podcast?
No, yeah, it was a podcast.
Is it with Will Arnett?
Yes, Will Arnett.
Yeah, that's
those guys. Yeah.
Smartless. And Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Those guys are huge.
The guy from Will and stories.
I mean, they're funny. They've been through a lot of stuff. They got Hollywood stories, but I don't think they're broadcasters. I don't think they have the ability to just talk about stuff that is kind of embarrassing.
Sure.
And, the ability to convey an entertaining story as a relatable person. I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably just telling stories. Like most times when they interview those people, and not Will Arnett because he's funny, but like when they interview like an actor, and they say, "How was the movie shoot?" They're like, "Oh, it was so much fun on the set." They give you nothing, and you're like, "That's not interesting."
It's those satellite answers.
Yeah,
they're
they
sitting there
stink.
talking to Access Hollywood.
Oh, and
it
was the same story they told 50 times to 50 different people. So, yeah, I would feel stupid doing that, like saying the same thing over and over on one day, sitting in the studio doing that. But that's like their gift.
It certainly is.
And podcasting too. I don't even think of that as broadcasting per se. It just seems like it's a whole different animal.
It is, and the one I started one right after because I was allowed to because there was no radio.
Yeah. You got a no compete?
Yes, I do. No, I'm kidding. I'm saying that they did during the thing. They wouldn't let me do my podcast. So like once it's over, you can do what you want.
They tried.
Really?
They would go F themselves and
Levitation.
Yeah, I was doing the compound thing from the basement, and they had a problem with it. And then I went in and went, it's nothing like the radio show.
Right.
This is, again, it was just fun. It was a fun thing, a hobby that I was doing.
Do you remember we were trying to figure out, like on snow days and stuff, he could do the show from there, so he doesn't have to come in, and that was, they couldn't even fathom that.
Yeah.
Now they don't even want you in their studio.
No, they don't want anyone there anymore, because then they could go, well, you're not even using our studio, so we can pay you less. That's what they do.
I take calls on my thing now, like it's an advice show, but I honestly like the live interaction with people. Like I like listeners talk, even though sometimes they suck and they're idiots, but I do like when they take you into a weird direction that you never would have thought to go in, because it's just they're talking about something in their life that wouldn't have been on my mind.
That's what this is kind of a new thing or old thing that's new again is phone calls.
Yeah.
Because when you have a subscriber-based show like I had for many years and still do, you're not going to get calls from people. They pay to listen to you.
Sure.
You're not getting the errant call or the person that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
How long at NEW do we have to take calls in here? Play the music.
Yeah.
You suck. Get the lead out. You guys are going to be gone in a month. All that stuff that we heard over the course of the years. And I kind of like that. You could, get back at them. It's like a little bit of abrasion between the caller and you. So having calls, and we will take calls. And by the way, I do want to say that you do have a show. It's Jim Norton Can't Save You.
Yeah.
And you have celebrities on, comics, stars of stage and screen.
I've had, Neil deGrasse Tyson is this Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
He's a great guest.
Yeah.
We had George Santos in, who was one of my favorites, from Long Island. George, he was hilarious. It's been a very interesting mix. Mark Norman was great. You were great.
From
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, from what the hell was that Broadway show that he did, and then it was a movie with De Niro.
Oh, Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah, Chaz Palminteri. We'll talk about more of your show, and we'll take calls, and we'll see if people want to call up with their issues, and we'll do a little.
Hold on, I have a long story I want to start.
We'll be right back. Anthony Cooney Show. I had a great time with you, and it's a little strange in that you do actually give people sound, or at least, as sound as you can.
The best I can do. We all know my limits.
Yeah, but most people would think like every single call is going to be a joke, or you got to crap on the guy or something. But you've heard some people with some real issues, and they feel compelled to call to you.
I don't know why. I think I'm the relative comparison, like where they know that I can't judge them because I'm also a mess.
That is
I'm
true.
A disaster.
Yeah. I guess people in therapy, they look at a therapist or a psychologist or what have you, and they got to be like, the person actually went to school, got a degree, so how could they possibly relate to me?
Yeah.
And then, a piece of garbage like you.
100%.
For me.
They know.
I get it.
You and I have both scraped the bottom of the barrel with our teeth. We get it. Garbage people.
And So have you had so far, because you've done a few shows now, have you had somebody that you got on the line and was like, oh boy, maybe this is out of my league, and you just refer him to?
No, I mean, once you get past a few, I think I want to commit suicide. And that's just my wife.
Well, she's already hung. Oh, you okay, Grandpa? Like Don Corleone with a tomato patch.
You're spelling it. Stop.
I have that like thing in my like. It's not that bad of a cold, but I feel like if I laugh too hard, I'm gonna cough a lot. That was funny.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury had that too.
Yeah, he certainly did. But at least he had fun getting it. I just talked to a comic at the cellar.
Oh. Apparently, yeah, Freddie Mercury, there's a picture of him in bed with like 5-10 guys. And everyone, whenever you see Freddie Mercury, because there's a lot of documentaries and stuff about him, and you look and you just go like, oh, that must have been where it happened.
Here's my impression of every guy who was ever with Freddie Mercury. Ah, left teeth.
He certainly did. Got the yellow and black lines on his, painted on his lips like a hopper and a wood chipper. Please steer clear. Oh my God! Yeah, this is a quick one. Yeah, so you got that going. Where can people get that?
Just on YouTube.
It's YouTube,
Jim
right?
Norton Comedy, or go on the Apple Pods, wherever you're gonna get your stuff.
It's fun. Who'd you have there too? Mark Norman.
Mark is great.
Isn't he funny, man?
Kim Congdon is this week, and she's brutal, and in a good way, in a very funny way. I went down to Austin and taped a few guys. Yeah, they've all been fun. I really love them. I love it.
I don't know. I kind of have a problem with girls that have had
puberty.
Yeah. I might as well just say that.
Sorry for
quick
coughing.
break right here. No problem, my Jimmy. And we'll be right back after these. I came here Thursday afternoon, and the first thing I was greeted with was a news story about the wonderful subway system and what goes on in it. Do you got that clip? Can we play the news clip about the guy on the subway? If you have
Levitation units online. Accepting donation. Yuri's collection agency.
Say this man performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers responded to reports of a body on that train at the Whitehall subway station just after midnight. That was yesterday. When officers looked at video from subway cameras, our police sources say they found the man in the yellow hoodie there sexually abusing the corpse, stopping only when passengers entered or exited the train. Police say that man had been dead for several hours before that violent attack.
I mean, I honestly back the guy who did it. That, to me, he had the courtesy to stop when people got on and off the train. He wasn't bothering anyone alive.
Isn't that I find that the most horrifying part of the story is that if it was a nut, that it's a plain nut, he'd have been having sex with a corpse, and then people come in, who cares? I'm crazy enough to have sex with a corpse. I'm not going to care who watches. But he cared. Like, he knew it wasn't right.
He was responsible. He wanted privacy.
That's great. He wanted privacy.
He knew he was being a bad boy.
Naughty
He was
boy.
being very fresh.
How the hell does New York get to that point? And I mean, we've all been through, we harken back to the old days of the 80s and 90s in New York City. The subways, it was just pandemonium. And I don't ever remember hearing a story like that. It was muggings. It was, Bernie Getz, the subway gunman, had to pull out a gun, and a crime, the mafia, they were making hits all over the place. I can't recall a man having sex with a corpse on the MTA.
Well, let me ask you. There's a lot to the story I want to know. Did he die before they started? Or had they started, and then they had a heart attack, and the guy's like, your obligation is... Until the end, we're going to do this until I'm done. And these people keep getting on and off. And this is my last time with you.
I do like how you're trying to justify it.
100%.
Like,
I think,
maybe.
yeah, why not? Once you die, let people do what they want to your corpse.
If he was dead for a couple of hours already, I can't imagine the guy going at it for a couple of hours like that. So I would assume he walked in, the guy was dead because he robbed him too. That came out later in the story. He robbed the guy, and by the way, other people had robbed him previously. So this dead guy, it just shows like I am so glad I got out of this.
So wait, other people robbed him, but then he's like, let me see if they did this. And he slid his pants down. He's like, I'm getting the first crack at this.
He's a virgin. It really is one of those twisted things that just, it can only happen in a city that has gone so far down the toilet.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes, Sodom and Gomorrah. It's, and people will say, you walk around, the odds that something's going to happen is pretty slim, but it does happen.
It does, yeah.
There's a lot of shenanigans, if I may language.
Sure, yeah. They can dump
there.
that if they have to. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you live here. You got a great place.
Thank you.
And I just wonder if you ever considered leaving New York. I know it's very important to your work.
Yeah.
But did you ever consider?
Not really, no. I could probably get a nice house if I wanted one in Jersey or whatever. But I would miss being here. Like, I love being here. And sometimes my wife will go, I want to get a house. I'm like, no, you don't.
Oh, geez.
You would hate it. She'd be so panicky about it. She's not a homemaker. She'll put on like a microwavable dinner and then go on her computer for 8 hours. It's like, that's not a trad wife.
Is that like, because I watch your show and I see clips that are posted on Instagram about you and Nikki, and it seems like there's a lot of like shopping that goes on.
Yes.
You get a lot of Amazon boxes.
It's insane. Like, if I go home and there's no boxes, I'm like, oh, my wife must have died. Like, she's probably dead upstairs. Maybe I'll drop her off on the subway.
Well, you also expect no box.
Construction complete.
But no, because same thing. I come home and there's just boxes at the door, boxes and down in South Carolina, you burn, the boxes along with the crosses, but they got a fire pit and just burn them. I don't wrap them up and save them for the garbage man. And it is an inferno because there are so many boxes, and 1% of it is me.
Yeah, and what she does and why she's such a sneak is she has an account and I have an account, but she knows that my accountant checks her credit card.
That's good.
It
keep an eye.
It is good. Until she figured out how to order off mine. So I see all these things that are Jim Norton, but they're lip liners. And then I'm like, it's just, she's doing it like to beat the system. So my credit card goes higher, but she's like, look, I only spent $1,000.
These are Maxim condoms. They're not mine. They're Magnums. Maxim. They suck. They suck. Ugh.
Vehicle ready.
What's wrong with
Unit
Maxim?
reporting.
Yeah, magazine.
Oh, Uncle Anthony. Those are the
What are those? The Maxims?
The Maxim sizes. That's all right. Happens. No, I know, but it's an unfixable.
Oh,
because I knew what you meant, but it didn't matter. There's just no way to fix that in post.
It was years ago when we were doing the O&A show, and before you came on board, screwing up or bombing was a nightmare. It was something that we would just not want to acknowledge. You look down, you plow ahead, and the face you would make. And I still watch videos to this day when all the comics are in, hollowing boss and Patrice and Holland, and someone would bomb. They'd say something that was not funny, and you got this look of joy on your face.
Yeah.
Like smiling, nodding your head, looking at him, going, "Yeah, that tanked."
There's something so satisfying about it. Like I truly do love unfunny things sometimes. Like I 2 sets last night I had. Neither were particularly good. I didn't bomb on purpose, but it just wasn't going well. And I was just really enjoying it. Like, this is not going great. Trying this stuff out.
It's weird. I would understand if you're watching someone doing that, but you yourself are kind of chuckling that you aren't going over well.
I told the audience, like, this one's my fault. I'm like, you're a nice crowd. I really have let you down. And I meant it. I wasn't angry at them. I was just kind of being a little self-indulgent, and it wasn't, I couldn't find anything funny. So I just told them, like, I know this sucks.
You've shown some masochistic traits over the years.
Sure. Tonight.
Yeah. Doing this show. Yeah, it's but I never thought, like, if you're up on stage, because anyone would imagine if you're up on stage, especially as a comic, you just want to kill. You want to
sure
do great. And I'm sure you want to, but you don't Like, that doesn't terrify you if you're
No, I mean, I started the set with the best of intentions, and it just wasn't going where I wanted it to. And then you kind of embrace it and go, all right, let's see if I can just try this or try that, or just kind of enjoy this weird moment that I'm having and acknowledge it. You make something out of it. I didn't take the set. It wasn't going well, and I couldn't figure it out.
Some comics like Big J Ogerson is so good at crowd work.
He's great at it, yeah.
And anytime I watch you, it seems like you only do crowd work when something happens that dictates you need to talk to.
Or if I'm in the mood,
or in the mood.
Yeah, I'm usually not in the mood. Like, I feel so much better if I get a laugh doing something I want to do. Not that I hate crowd work. I don't hate it, but I just like,
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy it sometimes.
Some people are so good at it.
Jay's great.
It's like so fast, and you don't want to sit there and have to look at them and think of something.
Yeah.
You just look like an adult.
Voss is, I'd say Voss.
He's adult.
He's adult, and yet the fastest at crowd work.
He is really good.
Because he can be mean so quickly.
But now he's sitting in a chair on stage.
He's
so one of the lace.
I honestly, I don't blame you because it is angering. But he's been doing that for years. Like, Voss goes through phases. Like, where he'll sit, where he'll stand. The same height either way, which is kind of odd. But he's gone through that thing where he would just sit. And he went through that for a long time, and then he stopped and he started.
Yeah, I'm not quite, I don't like the sitting thing.
Well, you like it?
It's kind of Bill Cosby, you know?
Sure, there's other things about him you love.
Hello, sir. I'm going to say he wasn't women, getting girls, but... the UFC thing. I know you're a huge UFC fan. Some of the greatest segments were when we have UFC guests on the O&A show, and they would do moves on you.
Yes.
They would put you in various holds and locks and choke holds, and you would tap out and make horrific noises like you were dying.
Getting choked, yeah.
Again, a little masochistic.
Yeah.
But you're a fan, and UFC last night in Miami, and Trump showed up.
Yep.
And it was, again, like this guy shows up at these predominantly blue-collar events, and people love it. Can't get enough.
He makes, and they played music. I think it was American Badass by Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And I think Rogan or one of those guys pointed out he's the only guy who's not a fighter who walks in with an entrance and music.
Entrance music and a posse.
Very funny.
And he goes up and gave Rogan a big hug.
Yes.
And they have a little chit chat. Rogan's so funny because he calls, he goes, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir." Yeah. And it's like, oh God, this was, before he was president in the first place, back before 2016. You would just be like, "Hey, there's Trump," and then all of a sudden it's Sir, Mr. President.
Me and Louis took me to a fight years ago. It was a Gennady Golovkin fight at Madison Square Garden, and we sat. It was like 2015. It was like when it was rumors that he was going to run.
Right.
And Trump was right in front of us, and we sat like a row behind Trump and a few seats over. And so I was like, "Oh, it's Trump," and I was just yelling to him as Chip. I wasn't yelling at him. I'm like, "Mr. Trump!" I was just screaming. I got a picture of Chip.
The Apprentice, put me on the show.
Dude, one time I was walking out. He was in my building because Don Jr. lived above me for 10 years.
Don Trump Jr.?
Don Trump Jr. Thank you. DJ TJR was and I walked in the lobby, and Trump was in there with Don. They were talking to somebody, and I was going to stop and say hello, but this was way before he ran. Then I was like, wait for a spot, and I was like, I just started talking about it. I left. I didn't stick around and say hello. And I'm like, I had no idea that was going to be the president of the United States.
No one did. Because he used to call us a couple of times, or we would call him, or what have you, and it was Trump, and he was hilariously funny. He was plugging The Apprentice, and then I think one time it was alluded to that Trump had called our show instead of us calling him, and he's like, he got mad. He got really mad. Like, "No, I didn't call. You called me. Make sure people know that. You guys are slobs." He called us slobs.
Yes. So he's definitely perceptive. Not wrong.
And later when he called Rosie O'Donnell a slob, I was like, okay, he knows the definition.
He certainly does.
At the very least. But he came in and just a hero's welcome. And then you get Bernie Sanders was at Coachella, which is ridiculous. This guy, he's ancient in any
There it is.
anywhere he goes. He's the oldest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And like trying to get young voters. Trump has made the traditional political thing, shaking hands and kissing babies. It's ridiculous now. It looks phony because it is phony.
It looks stupid.
It looks stupid. And they don't have another play in their book. It's all they have. So they keep doing it, and we just look and go, really, Bernie is going to Coachella?
And I watched a moment of his speech, and he was standing up there, and look, he's like, I'm going to keep it brief. And he goes, the future of this country is your generation. And they cheer. And it's like all of that, like the exclamation point cheer or the almost like the applause button lights up.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
They have moments that they know. It's like, this is where the applause goes in. I'm going to say stuff. And then they contradict stuff they said. Maybe back in, the olden days, you'd have to go to a library and go to the periodicals. And, he said that. That's the opposite of what he just said today. Now you can just pop it up on your phone and see them completely contradict themselves in HD video.
Well, years ago, the two things you didn't have working hand in hand, autism and Twitter. Somebody watched all those clips.
It is
right up.
True, man. It's been like not a good thing for humanity.
Or for like politicians, they'll catch all these guys saying these things and put thing. Remember when he said this, and then they show all of them saying that. And that didn't exist years ago.
Years ago, I'm going to the microfiche, and I'll find what he said 20 years ago. Now it's all out there. But I want you to listen to Bernie here at Coachella, man, and it just sounds so phony and typical politician. And he's talking to a group of people that want their Molly to kick.
That's why you have to say, I'll keep it brief.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. Let's listen.
This country faces some very difficult challenges. And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation.
It's 1969.
Now you can turn away and you can ignore what goes on, but if you do that, you do it at your own peril. We need you to stand up to fight for justice.
Oh, shut up. First of all, you can't turn away and ignore
Fight
it.
for economic justice.
Oh, all kinds of different justice.
Social justice. And racial justice. Now we got a president of the United States who...
Okay.
Do they not like Trump at Coachella?
I agree.
I'm shocked.
He thinks that climate change is a hoax.
It is.
He is dangerously wrong. And you and I are going to have to stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them to stop destroying this planet.
As they burn Teslas, as the same people burn the most successful electric vehicle company, which is what they were saying, you don't want fossil fuel, we got to come up with something. So you get these Elon Musk and Tesla, and what are they don't know what they're talking about. They always seem like they're mentally ill.
And they're carving swastikas on, which, a lot of us had to pay to have done.
Ready as ever. It's in the bank.
Kanye ran out of shirts before I it's look. I don't even dislike Bernie. I just he's a bit of a relic.
He just isn't a guy that seems to get passionate. Like, people don't seem passionate about his message or him. He'll get people at Coachella to cheer, but if he thinks he's going to change anyone's mind on anything in this country.
He had his shot and he blew it. He blew it like a couple years ago when they screwed Hillary and the Democrats screwed him. And I think that's a lot of those people that voted for Trump. And,
And then you see something like Trump at UFC, and it's a hero's welcome. Badass. And for how much people want to go like, oh, really, is this the president you want? Apparently, people like a strong guy. They want to see, it's like a movie. This guy's like a movie president.
I was at UFC when he was there once. We interviewed him like a year and a half ago, and he wasn't the nominee of the sport, but he's still, the head Secret Service, 12 Secret Service guys. And we were sitting in the row behind him at UFC, and to see the Secret Service interacting, 'cause there's so many people that want to walk up to him, and there was this one agent that literally it was like a robot. He just stared at Trump for the entire 4 hours. Like, didn't take his eyes off him.
Yeah.
These guys are really good.
You don't want to be the one that loses the president.
No, and they really are. Their presence is felt. I mean, they close it after we talk to him, and he leaves the room. They lock the door and they go, okay, we're going to take him out, but you guys have to stay in the room until we take... Like, it doesn't matter that you just talked to him. Wow. The door is now closed. Right. You would no longer have access. Stay in the room like every other schmuck on this floor.
Right.
It's, they just really know what they're doing.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with my good friend, Jim Norton. There's a big difference between podcasting and radio. And I've been doing podcasting for so long, I kind of forget. Like, I just yap for an hour and a half on my show.
Yeah.
I don't care, like, where the breaks go or anything. And now you got a room full of people looking at you, breaking things. Break! It's time for a break.
Yeah, the break thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where is E-Rock, by the way? He just disappeared. I don't like it.
He disappeared after we were asked if we want pizza.
He's waiting by the elevator with a feed bag under his mouth.
Sitting pretty with his paws up.
I'll take this. Just tips it.
It's just, open the box, it's just bitten crust. No, he'd eat that too. Who am I trying to kid?
We'd be like, where's the box? You'd see a little piece of box in his mouth. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't.
What's that?
I can't laugh too hard. It's crazy. Did my voice sound terrible?
It sounds sultry and sexy. Oh, here he is.
Thank you.
Oh, E-Rock.
That hurts.
Yeah, we were talking in the break about. I did a quick video about Gig Young.
Yep.
And New York's an amazing place. There is so much history, and it's all different. You could do things on any topic and find landmarks or something. Like the New Yorker Hotel is where Tesla lived out the last years of his life. He was in his 80s and he was just alone in a room. This guy is responsible. Look around at every technology we use. Tesla was absolutely integral in making that. Edison ripped them off. Hoo-hoo, Robin. Edison ripped me off.
What year did he die, Tesla?
I think it was the 40s, just 44, around there. And the story is he used to go into Bryant Park from the hotel and feed pigeons, like an old cartoon. He'd sit on the bench, and he was in love with one particular pigeon.
In love with it?
In love. And he'd feed it and love it. Well, not in that sense.
Do you think he just loved it as a pet, or did he have like a weird sexual vibe for it?
From everything I've read, it seemed a little more than just, hey, I like this pigeon. He's cute.
What's the difference? Why would you assume and say, hey, you mo?
Ready as ever.
I don't know. Yeah, why would I?
Of course.
I assume all pigeons are. So he would do that, and then he'd go back to his hotel room at the New Yorker, and they have like a plaque dedicated to him, and they have like a kind of a really small room with some interesting facts about Tesla. But this guy was the guy. Every bit of electricity we use is because Tesla came up with alternating current, and Edison was like, direct current is the way to go, and it just wasn't.
What's the difference?
They still direct current can't really you can't really transmit that power over great distances.
Is that AC/DC, right?
Yeah. Okay. So there you would know that.
I certainly would. Because of the band. Not because of the mouth choices.
Where you put that to? So you can't really transmit DC over long distances, and AC. He was like, and they were like, well, it's impossible to do alternating current, and he came up with it. And then Edison stole his patent, and because he was with General Electric, and they had lawyers and everything. So he just ended up being this destitute old man dying at a hotel on 8th Avenue in Manhattan.
How do you afford a hotel if he was broke?
I don't know. I think he had some relatives that just were paying for him because he was really feeble at that point. But just a brilliant man. And like that's an interesting story.
Yes, it is.
So you go around, and there's plenty of things to do. So I found the Osborne apartments. And it's right across from the WNEW studios we used to go to, across from the Brooklyn Diner on 57th and 7th. And Gig Young, he's in one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes. And he goes back to his hometown and he sees himself as a little child, and he's trying to convey to the kid, like, please enjoy your childhood, because he's a business guy, he's burnt out, his life is terrible, and he wanted to stay. And then his father told him, like, you got to go. Like, this is for him. He's a child. He wound up blowing his wife's brains out and blowing his brains out in this amazing hotel, the Osborne, on the corner. So I just did a quick break on that. It got like 20,000 views in no time.
As you're saying that, I never thought I could envy Gig Young. I'm looking it up as you talk. That was like 1978.
Yeah, 78, which is weird. He did a few movies. He was supposed to actually be the Waco Kid in Blazing Saddles, but he was so drunk that Mel Brooks fired him. He was supposed to be the voice of Charlie in Charlie's Angels, and he was so drunk that he got fired. And then he blew his wife's brains out.
Would be funny if that was like after a month of sobriety.
He finally has a clarity. We'll be right back in moments. Don't go anywhere. Let's take some phone calls, Jim. People love you. They want to talk to you. I guess I could just plunk one of these down.
Sure.
Huh? All right. How about Rick? Will I get this? Double click. There we go. Rick from Jersey. How you doing, buddy?
All right, how you guys doing? I was going to tell Jim Norton I got a party with you, but after that Subway story, I'm having second thought.
Well, look, if you don't want that to happen, wait till you get home to die. Don't die on the subway with a great ass and expect everyone to ignore it.
So listen, I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson's name mentioned, and I just want to tell you, he's not a friend of ours. He's property George Soros. He pushes the global warming scam. Anybody that pushes the global warming scam is guilty of global child abuse.
Well, I had him on.
The world coming to an end. That's child abuse.
I had him on a few times, Rick, and I don't get into the politics of it. He's an interesting guy to talk to. He's great when a flat earther calls up and you want to refute it. It's nice to have him in the studio that day. He was out. I guess he had done. Was it my show or he did somebody else's show? Iraq.
He did your show and then you Star Talk over it.
Yeah. He was out. He was in the green room, and I had a flat earther on, and he's, the nonsense of flat Earth. Just stop.
Yeah.
And I go, I wish I had a astrophysicist here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there he is. So again, just refuting everything. I'm at the point right now where everything that's happened, I'm not just instantly going to say that's impossible or that doesn't happen. I used to be very pro-government and go, they wouldn't do that to us. And nowadays, I give anything the benefit of the doubt. I go, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But flat Earth, stop it.
It's idiocy. It's idiocy.
Thank you, Rick.
And what do you mean he's not a friend of ours? We're not teams. We're just individual people. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. Why he's a genius. I don't care what his politics are.
Dear friend of ours.
I mean, it's not,
it's
not a team sport. Like,
no.
I don't care what he thinks about other stuff. I want to talk to him about light refraction.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you're not going to pay attention to anything he says because he believes in climate change or global warming or whatever the fuck.
And he loves
whatever
touching
the hell.
Jim. Every time he's in the studio, he's constantly leaning and pawing on Jim.
He does. I'm like a squeeze toy, and people just feel comfortable. Like they get their tension out squeezing me. But I had him on. We did like almost an hour and a half, and he talked about everything. His feelings about religion and Christ. It was very, very interesting, the conversation. It wasn't all about science. He got very personal. And, I love it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
When
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah. I don't know why he doesn't like it.
He doesn't. I know. It's politics. People get, like you said, it's one team or the other. Never the twain shall meet. You have to hate anyone that believes everything that you don't believe in. So, I don't know what happened. We were supposed to get these phones and get on the internet and share ideology and the way we feel about things. And it was supposed to bring us together. Whoopsie, that didn't quite happen. It seems like we're a lot more divided now. Let's go to Don. Is that Don on the phone? Where are those pictures I was supposed to see? Don from Canada. What's up, my friend?
Calculating reflection arc.
A couple of things, and then I'll get out of your hair. Not sure what's happening.
Oh, sir, please, fresh talk.
Pubes.
Yeah. What am I, dead on the subway? Okay, I'm not gonna let that one go.
I wish.
I know, you don't have to be behind me.
Light energy. Positional data received.
Speaking of dead bodies, I worked at a crematorium in the early 80s out in Anaheim, and probably the most interesting job I've ever had in my life.
Isn't that a little morbid? Like, do you have nightmares? Do you get the heebie-jeebies? You don't just feel like you're doing something, that would be creepy.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that, but you get used to it real quick.
Oh, no.
Did you ever touch the private parts of a body before it went into the fire?
I wanted to say I didn't molest anybody except some of the Mexican ground.
Lens shifters in working.
Why would you molest them?
Because they were alive.
Oh.
Okay. Only living.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
All right.
Then you're not weird.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something though. Did you watch them as they, turned into ashes?
Resulting
Oh, for sure. And the most interesting thing about it was I just keep them up, put them in this thing called the grinder.
Right, because they're still bones.
Grind them up.
Oh, God.
Yeah, people think.
Is that what that is? I saw that on your phone. I was wondering.
And then you have to reach down inside and clean like metal and stuff off
positional data
like pacemakers, hip joints, staples, what have you.
Right.
Ooh, wow. And then you don't give it any thought that it was a person and anything like that. They're just a product for you.
No, I always thought that they were, and I handled them with the greatest of care, knowing that they were somebody's aunt or grandfather or what have you.
Before you torch them. It just seems odd.
Yeah,
Right.
laugh at that little charm bracelet that's going into a fire. Won't be hugging her no more.
All the little grandkids' names charred on the hearts.
And you figure all the times that thing jingled as the hand went up and down, up and down.
But he's definitely not. He didn't kill himself. He
No.
doesn't have these drug problems. He does seem to like 25-year-olds.
Sure, so he's perfectly healthy, normal.
Yeah. Normal guy.
Look at Ron Howard. I mean, he said he was a kid on the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Richie Cunningham, and he stayed pretty normal.
So I would assume, I guess different.
Maybe, yeah.
For different things, but I kind of, with the stories that come out, I would think some terrible things happen to these these kids. And, that's kind of the newer thing we get. But the old school Hollywood was just as bad in other ways.
Oh, my God.
They were all drunks. Like crazy, abusive drunks. They got married 5 times. They had kids with different wives, neglected them. And then they'd off themselves or die in some horrific car crash because they were hammered. So it's just a different type of horror that was going on back in those days.
Did you see the clip that was going around recently? It was either Judy Garland or Shirley Temple when they were older, telling a funny story about going into a giant executive meeting when they were kids.
Shirley Temple.
It was Shirley Temple.
Yeah, that's brutal.
She was probably Shirley Temple Black by that point. Yes. She was married.
Oh.
And she said that they split her up, and then her mother went into one room with one executive, and she went in. And I Googled the guy. He was a real guy. And she said she walked in, and the guy was just naked, or he took his clothes off. And he was like 60.
Yeah, and she started laughing.
It's a fun story.
She's a kid.
Good.
So she saw it. So the guy got mad that a child was laughing at his
well, it's humiliating.
Yeah. But, just terrible people. The casting couch stories, they all got to come from some element of fact and truth.
And she was talking about it and laughing as an adult about it. Like, my mother said the same thing happened to her. Like, they just didn't look at it the same back then.
Despicable.
It's crazy.
Come on in here. Is Troy there? Let's talk to Troy from Scottsdale, Arizona, I believe. Witness Protection Program, Troy?
Hey, yes, I'm a big fan. I actually saw you guys at the O&A softball game in Newark, New Jersey.
Wow. 2001.
Oof. That was the biggest thing that happened in 2001.
Location confirmed.
No, it wasn't.
Oopsie. Oh, God. No.
I have a question. Is there a chance that you guys are going to join forces with the Chip Army and the Ant Army and do a show?
Oh my God, I forgot Ant-Man. Ant-Man, yeah, I forgot about Ant-Man.
Gavin bestowed that upon me, and I hate him.
I love it, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, yeah. The studio's called the Ant Hill.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like, pour some sugar on the Ant-Man, and I come into the break playing "Pour Some Sugar on Me" by.
That's how you get money too. Ant-Man needs some sugar.
Yeah, and then I
they
have
send little
merch,
donations,
antenna hats, and sunglasses that look like compound eyes. Yeah, I'm working it all out. The Ant-Man. If I am ever known as the Ant-Man, please blow my head.
Or even if you're not.
You never know, Troy. I mean, obviously, me and Jimmy have worked together whenever we can over the course of the years, and I've loved doing Chip. That was, so much fun. The live shows, I forgot. Like we went out and did those live gigs in various cities, and it was so much fun.
And Chip would write like a bunch of dialogue for everyone before. And it was usually
that's right.
It was usually not quite as humorous as Chip had thought it would be.
We had to read from Chip's script.
Yeah,
and it was terrible. I forgot about
They were
that.
unfortunately bad scripts.
Yeah. Anything else, Troy?
My favorite episode was the one where you were drinking wine.
Construction complete. Could be any episode.
Yeah, who was drinking wine? Anthony?
Of course.
Anthony was drinking wine. No, and he starts singing "Stumbling In," and then as I guess he had been drinking earlier, maybe.
That would
I don't know,
make
but you start slurring all the lyrics. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what episode.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I kind of pulled the throttle back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
We all have to
Sure.
mature. But thank you, Troy.
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much.
Have fun out there in AZ, okay?
Arizona.
Bye-bye.
Like some schnook. Eating egg noodles and tomato sauce.
Is that where he was, Arizona?
I think it was like they all go out there.
A new
don't they?
development. Yeah, Sammy the Bull went out there.
I think. They sent. What's his name? The guy that ratted on.
Sammy the Bull.
Yeah, Sammy the Bull.
Yeah.
You said that?
Sammy, Sam Gravano. Yeah, he's on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's great. He's a great follow. But I really want to get him on my podcast. I would love to have him on, but he just won't follow me back. I don't blame him.
His daughter was on one of those mob shows. Remember, we had them as a guest.
The mob girls,
we had
wives.
the mob girls on, and his daughter was on, and she wasn't saying anything. And I said something to the effect of, "Why don't you act like your father and start talking?" And it was something to that effect, and she was not happy.
She didn't get a kick out of it?
She didn't get a kick. It was funny. It's like, your father was...
Sure.
Talk a little too much. You're always talking.
There it is. Ready as ever.
But, he said he had his reasons, so I would love to interview him, of all the people. There's another guy from, I think, the Gotti thing. Is John Alito was with that? He's a guy I've seen him interviewed quite a bit. Yeah, he's really fascinating. All those guys are fascinating.
There it is.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few of them. The Francesi guy, he's out and about on doing podcasts and whatnot. And there's a few of them, and you would think like that would just get you killed.
Years ago,
even if you're out of it for 10, 20 years,
for
you would still be killed if you said things.
It's not the same anymore.
No,
you have the same type of loyalty to this thing of ours.
Even, by the way, my favorite thing in The Sopranos now is watching Vito try to have sex with Finn. Phineas with beautiful kids.
My nemesis. And he goes, when he opens the door to the porta potty, thing, he goes, sound like it was a horse in there.
Oh, God. He played that so wrong, Vito.
Oh, yeah. But when his head came up with the security guy, that moment, the first time you ever saw it was like, what? What am I seeing?
And I watch that now, though, and I'm like, why didn't he just say he was doing coke?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like, he could have lied and gotten out of it. But then again, they did see him in the gay club, too. Not even dancing well, by the way.
I don't think that was
no.
Coke. That was awful wet coke under your nose.
Yeah, why'd you have coke on your back and your hair?
When he's in the club, it's like, it's a joke.
That dumb hat.
Oh, he's wearing, like, Cruisin', like Pacino in Cruisin'.
Yeah.
The most stereotypical gay attire in a gay club. And he's like, it's a joke. And then the one guy's walking and he goes, say hello to your wife.
Yeah. Sal, don't say nothing, Sal.
Yeah.
Oh, blabbermouth Sal.
His last ditch thing, like, don't say nothing. Like, the mob guy isn't going to say that.
He was very quiet.
A Finoke.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I just kept watching it on Phineas.
It was so disturbing though, watching the Johnny Cakes portion where he was up in Vermont, I guess it was.
Yeah, no, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, and he falls in love with Johnny Cakes.
Yeah, because I'm like, I never thought I'd be doing this watching this show. Quick, unmelt the butter. That guy committed suicide.
Yes, he did.
The guy who played Johnny Cakes, the actor. I wonder if it was because he kept getting taunted with Johnny Cakes.
Who knows?
I love you, Johnny Cakes.
I love you, Johnny Cakes.
I wonder if that drove the guy to suicide.
It might have. That's not a stereotype we wanted. We'll be right back. This is insane. Jeff Bezos, you know, the Amazon guy.
Sure.
Multi-gazillionaire. He's got his fiancée, Lauren Sanchez.
Sexy.
You like her? Yeah? She's got a lot of work done.
She has, but
yeah,
she's very sexy. She's like Kimberly Guilfoyle in a way, Trump's ex.
Oh, okay. You liked her too, huh?
Yeah, like I like that. They're like at 48 to 50, but they're in hot shape, and they go to the gym. Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's right up my
ready as ever.
My alley.
My alley. Is that what you're calling it now? What's your fingers?
So he's like in the space business now. You know, he's got the Amazon thing.
Blue Origin.
Blue Origin. It needed the money. Oh!
Yeah, Blue Comet was the Sopranos where Bobby gets shot.
Right, the train. I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
All fired up. Ready to go.
So his fiancée Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, pop idol star Katy Perry, and Gayle King, and then two women that I guess have something to do with the aerospace industry. They are going to be rocketed up into technically space.
Yep.
They're in the vessel for 11 minutes. They shoot it up.
That's right.
It kind of hangs out up, not in orbit, but above the atmosphere.
You're weightless, yeah.
And then it comes right back down again. And this is a terrible idea. I think what Jeff Bezos is doing is a carnival act. I think it's a ride. I think it's not like what Elon and SpaceX are doing. SpaceX is bringing people and materials to the space station.
Sure.
It puts things in orbit. It docks with the space station. Ooh, getting turned on there, Jim. It docks at the space station. And this just seems like a carnival ride, and I can only see it ending in tragedy.
You wonder if there's going to be, like, this is what I have a couple questions about this. Would you do it? I don't know if I would do it. A part of me thinks Gayle King said she didn't want to do it, but then when someone goes, Oprah said to her, like, you'll regret it once they're back. You can do it 11 minutes later. It's only 11 minutes.
A lot can happen in 11 minutes.
If you give me certain things I can do 5 times in 11 minutes, including handing over the money.
Without swallowing.
I'm defenseless when I laugh. Here's the thing. It shoots you straight up, and then you float.
Yeah.
But there's no engine on it. So when you come back down, when that thing comes back down, is it like falling back down, or how are you?
Yeah, it's just falling. The Earth grabs it back and wants it back.
So you're basically just, what are the G-forces like? Are you plummeting?
Well, you're not slowing down from, like when a ship is in orbit, it's doing about 17,000 miles an hour. So when it hits the atmosphere, it's got to slow down. So you're feeling a lot of G. When you just shoot it up and it comes back down, you're not getting those speeds. So you're not getting a lot of G's. There's not as much heat on the heat shield because you're not coming through as fast as you would if you were in orbit.
But if you were on a plane that just fell from that height, you'd be smashed up against the ceiling.
Yeah, you probably would be.
The G's would be
terrible. I think you're strapped in. No, if it's just falling, I think it has more to do with acceleration than speed or deceleration. You're gonna feel it. But this just seems like, first of all, what a great way to off your fiance if you don't want to marry her.
Okay.
Sure.
They would never be able to say, "Oh, he did something."
Yeah.
It's just, look, they took a risk. It's
I can go anywhere.
It's dangerous. And then Katy Perry, what is she thinking?
Moving out.
I think they're stupid. I think they're just stupid women.
Well,
Sorry.
he's done it. Bezos himself did the first one.
There was
Shatner's been on it.
Yeah, Shatner did one.
Right.
He cried because of the blackness, the darkness that I saw. Believe me, I can relate. and then he gets down there. He's trying to tell the camera and the microphone that they put in front of his face what an amazing thing had just happened.